Hello viewers, welcome to the lecture video on basics of automobile engineering. Today we are going to see about superchargers. So before going into the topic, we must know the engine auxiliary system. One is the turbocharger, another one is the supercharger. The turbocharger uses the power of the exhaust gas and it forces the atmospheric air in a compressed manner and it passes through the intercooler and then it reaches inside the engine. So that is about the turbocharger, which uses the engine's exhaust gas. The power of the engine's exhaust gas is used to compress the fresh charge. Here today we are going to see about the supercharger. So both are having the same working principle, whereas the operating means here is the external compressor. That is what the difference, main difference. So here in supercharger, a supercharger is a air compressor that increases the pressure or the density of the air which is supplied into the internal combustion engine. So which gives the intake cycle of the engine more oxygen content and burning it more efficiently. So that is why the engine's power is increased by means of this supercharger. So this is how the construction of the supercharger will look like. Generally, you can see here the compressor which is coupled with the engine's crankshaft. So this engine's power, the crankshaft power here is used to drive the compressor. So the compressor inhales the atmospheric fresh air and then it compresses and then it is sent to the engine's inlet. So the air is charged by means of the compressor. So that is why it is called supercharger. So this is how the supercharger will function. You can see the air filter, that is the component number one, and number two is the air intake pipe, and number three is the intake manifold. Number four is the supercharger honing, and number five is the gear drive mechanism. Number six is the rotor and loops. Number seven is the discharge part, and number eight is the pulley, and number nine is the drive belt. So these are the components of the supercharger, and you can see the animated video how the supercharger charges the air and it sends into the intake manifold. So there are different types of compression. One is the positive displacement, another one is the dynamic compressor. So both are working on the same concept. Here the positive displacement will have the different kind of thing. Other than this, it boosts regardless of the engine speed. Whereas the dynamic compressor, it rely on accelerating the air on high speed. So according to the throttle, it relies the power and it accordingly boosts the air to the engine. So there are three types of superchargers, namely roots supercharger, twin screw supercharger, and centrifugal supercharger. You can see the roots supercharger in the animated view. So this is how it moves the air inside the engine. So the second one is the twin screw supercharger. In the twin screw supercharger, there are two screws which is used to compress the air. The third one is the centrifugal supercharger. So this is what commonly used. It is a centrifugal type. The air is sucked from the atmosphere and then it is forced inside the cylinder by this air compressor. So this is how the supercharger is working. And moreover, these superchargers are one of the energy efficient things which are used in the engines. These auxiliary systems are used to boost up the power as well as the efficiency of the engine. Because if the intake air is charged in such a way that the engine has a more density of air, so that it compresses and it goes with a very high efficient power, and so that the turbocharger and supercharged vehicles you can see on the roads, they have more power than the normal vehicle, because this is an auxiliary system which is equipped in the vehicle, so that the power of the engine is increased without affecting the economy of the fuel as well as the output of the engine. That's